into your room, shoot it up to the moon. You make it too easy for other people to understand. What's that in your hand? Help me breathe. Maybe you won't look at that place that way. The futurist. The futurist. The futurist. The futurist. The futurist.
Feet first, I'm jumping into you, head turned, away from my fears I knew, 'cause I was scared of ever taking chances, I was scared of falling.
Hello everyone, welcome back to day number 5 of Southeast Asia DeFi Week. We are broadcasting live right now at 3 p.m. Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines time from the Asia Blockchain Center. And we are really excited to bring you the content today. Thanks to all our partners also for all across Southeast Asia for making Southeast Asia DeFi Week a success. For those who are new to DeFi, and you don't recognize these logos and etc., don't worry. You get to know them throughout the entire week as we will give a shout out to them as we go along. Now, for those who are joining us for the first time, you missed the last 4 days of Southeast Asia DeFi Week. What is DeFi? DeFi is short for decentralized finance. It is the simplest definition that I could give to you. It's basically an emerging set of new financial products that you can use today without requiring intermediaries. And over this entire week, we have invited so many different kinds of DeFi innovations, products, protocols, tools, so that you can actually see and learn what is available in DeFi. And we have covered so many things. We have had Compound, Aave, Instadap, Uniswap, etc. But what does it all mean? And how do we unpack all of these? So let's do a quick recap. DeFi is an extension. The way I see DeFi is kind of like an extension of what cryptocurrencies are able to do, because cryptocurrencies are really cool because it allows us to transact in 5 ways: globally, openly, borderlessly, without censorship resistance, without permission, which is pretty cool in itself. However, with cryptocurrency, you could only receive and you can spend. Whereas right now, what we are seeing right now is that with all these emerging new tools, we are able to lend, we're able to borrow, and this one of the jargons that you are going to hear a lot in the DeFi space is that these are what we call money Legos. This is what the people in DeFi are building, okay, which allows us to have interest rate markets. It allows us to have decentralized exchange platforms where we can exchange tokens without intermediaries and with very, very low slippage. We have synthetic assets on the blockchain, and we have very, very cool things that we can do, like flash loans, another money Lego, which you can borrow a loan, okay, with the caveat that you must return it and pay the interest, okay, within 15 seconds. So with all these different money Legos that are currently being built, what makes DeFi very interesting as compared to what we have seen and are used to in the traditional finance space is that these are all open, permissionless, censorship-resistant protocols, which means that when this person builds this, okay, another person, okay, from another part of the world, and he says that, oh, this is very useful, they can actually take that and build on top of that. And this leads to what we call composability, a lot of different kinds of innovations and variations that are happening. And this is something very unique that we have never seen before happening in the financial space. So, however, we do want to point out that a lot of these experiments right now, a lot of these DeFi companies, these DeFi projects, they are between 3 to 5 years old. Okay, it's still a very, very new environment. So much uncertainty, so many things can happen. There are a lot of high risk involved. Okay, thus we need to put in a disclaimer that none of the content shared throughout this entire week should be treated as a form of investment or financial advice. The reason why we organize this entire week is to help more people learn about DeFi by providing you a safe place, okay, and an easy environment to know what is real, what is fake, what is legit, what is full of not legit, okay, and help you to discover this a new environment where there are so many opportunities where you could either get some remote work or generate an alternative source of income, particularly in this very, very challenging time that the entire world is going through. The one industry that is booming and hungry for talented, good actors is the cryptocurrency / blockchain / DeFi industry. So if you can educate yourself and be well informed about what is available in this space, you can potentially become a very attractive person that people in the DeFi space will want to get to know you, giving you opportunities, giving you jobs. And you could be their fans and champions, and then and then vice versa. This becomes a positive feedback loop. So this is why we do what we do. Today, we are on the 5th day, and we're going to be covering, it's going to be a very light-hearted day today because we've covered all the heavy stuff in the first 5 days. Today, we're going to talk about two very useful, highly useful platforms that has gained a lot of traction because they support the DeFi space and solve a lot of problems that existing DeFi users currently have. So the first one is 1inch. Now do stay back, okay, to the very end of this session because when you ask, okay, very good questions, we are actually observing who asked the best questions, and the top 10 best questions that are asked to the speakers today, you get a chance to win $10 of UDC, and stay until the end for the instructions on how to win this prize. So, first topic for today is 1inch exchange. What is 1inch exchange? So you have heard of the other decentralized exchanges like Uniswap. In the very first Southeast Asia DeFi week, we introduced Kyberswap to you guys as well. You have been introduced to Curve, okay, Balancer, which is instead of just two assets, okay, there are liquidity pools that can manage multiple assets. So what is 1inch? 1inch is a DEX aggregator. What that means is, if you visit the website right now, you would see, okay, something quite familiar when you visit other DEXes, okay? And what 1inch does, okay, is that it helps you to find, okay, what are the best prices across a range, okay, of DEXes, making it so much more easier. And the And just only 3 days ago, they launched their own automated market maker called Mooniswap. And we are very happy, okay, to have both the co-founders, okay, Sergey and Anton. Oh, sorry, I made a typo there. All right, okay. I'll get that solved, okay? But we are very lucky, okay, to have both Sergey and Anton with us today. Thank you very much for being with us today at Southeast Asia DeFi Week, Sergey and Anton. I am so sorry, okay, with the spelling mistake here.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. Now,
Hi.
first and foremost, congratulations on your recent fundraise, okay? That was news. I read news, okay, on you guys recently got a fundraise, okay, a successful one, $2.8 million. I read this on the news on CoinDesk. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
So the first question that I would like to ask, okay, you guys, is on 1inch, okay, very often, okay, people in the DeFi space, in the crypto space, they tend to assume, okay, that all the projects in the space are overnight successes. 1inch, okay, is one of those projects that has gained a lot of traction. But can you share with the community right now, how old is your project, okay, and how do you guys start it?
So, can you repeat the first question? Yeah.
The first question is, how do you guys start? How old is the project, and how do you guys start it?
So, okay. So, how we started? So, the idea came to us on ETH Global Hackathon in New York last year. So we were talking with several people. I was also talking with Hayden Adams from Uniswap, with Untitled Chapter on the hackathon, and we had some experience in arbitrage trading before the hackathon, and we thought we can improve the space because at the moment last year, like the end of May 2019, there were no one who really aggregated all the liquidity sources. There were some pages, some apps who showed just a ranking and the prices, and you were able to jump to the portal and swap there. And we thought, why we can't just introduce arbitrage technology to everyone, so everyone can just be kind of arbitrage trader and swap for the best price on all the liquidity sources. So, and we didn't sleep the whole hackathon. It was like 2 nights and 1 day, from Friday morning 6 a.m. to Sunday 6 p.m. So we didn't sleep. And we were able to deliver a fully working application, an MVP. Yeah, we had Kyber, we had Uniswap, we had Banker integrated. So, and we were able to improve, for example, Ethereum to Sai, its previous Sai, by 20%, yeah, at swapping from for 100K of $100,000. So some people were really excited, like Liam from Ethereum Global, I didn't catch Vitalik to show him the results. Yeah, but yeah, and the funny thing is we didn't win any main prizes or something like that with this invention. We got only from ENS $300. We are happy that we got it, so I was able to pay for the flight tickets. Yeah, that's the story. And all around that, so we are hackathon guys. You know, we participated on almost every hackathon since 1.5 year in Ethereum. So and also not in Ethereum. Also here in Germany, where I'm from, we won multiple hackathons, also from Daimler, a mobility prize, and several others. We got also 2 main prizes from Ethereum Global. One was in Indian, and one was in ETH London this year as well.
So, one of the things, okay, that you mentioned, right, okay, I got to know about 1inch as the DEX aggregator. So, and I think a lot of people in the space are using 1inch also as a DEX aggregator. If I want the best prices, okay, I just go to 1inch. I don't have to check the prices at Uniswap, KyberSwap, and etc. And also, you're also known because you have a platform, okay, that can reduce gas fees. But you mentioned something really interesting that you're bringing onto the table, which is you're helping people to also arbitrage, okay, when they use your platform. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. So yeah, maybe go ahead.
Yeah, let me like describe what it means. Now, when you look at each separate DEX, each of them have like a separate liquidity, which is like restricted, and it can give you some prices, which on some volumes are good. But
Yeah.
what 1inch really achieved is that we united all these small DEXes on layer 1 into huge high liquid DEX. So
Okay.
this allowed us to reduce slippage. So on the screenshot you showed, 100% of all the volume was forwarded to Uniswap. But the more you swap, the better distribution would be. You know, the more you swap, the worse is the rate on each separate DEX for sure. But we found out that if we would split your volume among multiple DEXs, the price impact will be lower and you would achieve a better rate. And by providing arbitrage opportunities for the users, Sergey meant that usually when you swap on single DEX, you produce a price impact on this DEX, and arbitrage traders can rebalance it and earn on you. But when you trade on aggregator, you move the price on all the DEXs simultaneously. If you would buy on a few hundreds thousands of bucks, you would move price on all the DEXs, and the arbitrage traders will not be able to earn on you immediately. They will be able to earn by arbitrage with, for example, centralized exchanges or any other external sources. So we minimized arbitrage traders' earnings on the people.
So, does that mean, okay, that a 1inch exchange are turning liquidity providers, unknowingly turning liquidity providers into arbitrages as well?
You know, 1inch made all these DEXs to
Yeah.
compete directly and receive fair portion of their volume. Yeah, because
Okay.
the better prices some DEX could offer on some exact volumes, the more volume it would get. Because we do split for the user profit and not do any other prioritization for sure.
Okay, so now another one of the very useful things that people are starting to realize more and more using 1inch is that you have a feature that allows people to save gas fees when they use 1inch. How does that work? Right now I'm a user myself, but I don't understand actually how does it work. Can you help share that with the community?
So we introduced the chi token. So there are some people who write in the chat and ask, are we Bruce Lee fans? Yes, we are. So initially, the name 1inch comes from 1-inch punch by Bruce Lee. He did very efficient punch with huge power. So and we thought, we do also very efficient things. We aggregate among DEXes and provide the best price on DEX market. And to make this punch, you need power, and in Asian martial arts, it calls ki or chi. So and we thought, it's maybe a cool naming. So the idea behind the chi token is actually that you create, you write in a blockchain in a storage when the gas price is low, and you remove from the storage at burning process on high gas price to get refund. So there's a EVM feature which allows you, which will give you a refund if you delete something from the blockchain. So, and actually, initial idea of the gas token comes from two guys from New York. One of them is a Russian guy. We met them on last year in Japan, in Osaka, on the Ethereum conference. So they did some research and found out, wow, there's a refund functionality in EVM, Ethereum virtual machine, and then they just created ERC20 token. So we first of all we used the GST token in our arbitrage bots before 1inch, and we thought then, okay, why not to introduce also gas token to everyone on 1inch. So everyone can just save the gas costs. At the beginning, we burned own GST2 token, which we bought by our own money when we had not huge amount of transactions and the gas price was not that high. So and right now it's like, yesterday or today already like 300 GUI for the gas price. It's huge, So and
Sergey, I think we should warn some users who first hear about chi token that this should not be considered as investment token, because anyone can mint this token, like print it, and anyone can burn it. We do not hold any like huge part of these tokens. This token do not have some kind of tokenomic. It's just utility token for tokenization of like the gas prices, actual gas prices. When gas prices became higher, gas token also costs higher.
It's leveraged the gas price on Ethereum. So you can speculate, but it's not financial advice, of course. Mint low, buy low, sell high. But again, not financial advice. So we use this chi token on 1inch. We offer the user to enable the chi token. You have to have it on your wallet, and if you enable the chi token on 1inch by click to the icon, to the logo, then on each transaction, the smart contract will burn small amounts of the chi token to reduce your transaction costs by almost 43%.
So Yong from Malaysia, he asked, okay, can he pre-purchase these gas chi tokens by 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000?
So we have the chi miner and minter. The chi minter you can use if you see this gas prices are right now low. Makes sense maybe to mint some with a standard gas price. We suggest to do it from extra wallet, which is dedicated for this minting, because it would block your transactions. So you cannot do any other transactions until the mint transaction is done. And you can buy how much you want. Like you go to 1inch, you can
Okay.
buy Chi on several exchanges. It is also listed on Uniswap, on our own It's also on Uniswap, and we find the best price and offer you then to buy just with a click. And yeah, I don't know. You could just set what you want, and you can
Right.
just set how much you want to buy.
Right. Okay. So they what's that? Anyone can buy any amount of Chi tokens if they feel that the gas during times when the gas price is much lower, right? The gas prices right now are just insanely high. Okay, for those who have not been familiar with have been following this space that long. 300 gas, 300 Gwei, is something, is that a record number, or has Ethereum actually experienced something that before?
We reached, how I understand, all-time high on gas costs. Like it was yesterday, I guess, like 300 something.
Yeah,
Okay.
right now it's also 300 something,
Right.
Like at the beginning of this year, costs were 100 times less.
So we have another question. Okay, I'm not really understanding this, because how to arbitrage when gas prices right now are on the moon? I think the answer to this question is right now you can't, right? Because
I can answer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if any lending platform would list Chi token, you will be able to borrow it, sell it now, and then buy it back when price will become like less. You can short. You will be able to short it if Chi token will be listed on any lending platform like Compound, Aave, Fulcrum.
Yeah, I guess the question was more in direction arbitrage. It's quite expensive to arbitrage right now. There are some
Yes.
arbitrage traders out there. You shouldn't compete with professional arbitrage traders because it makes not really sense. They are faster. It's of course quite expensive. One transaction costs maybe $50, and it makes no sense.
How many percent, do you have any metrics, as to how many percent, of the users on 1inch have been using, the Chi token for their transactions?
We don't have yet. But it's a lot, looks like. So if you open a Chi token on EtherScan, you see a lot of people using that, training that, and it's already listed on two centralized exchanges, and it looks like more coming. We didn't push that, so we didn't organize that. So it's like the centralized exchanges just decide to list the Chi token, and maybe it will come also to Binance. I'm not sure.
We have a few
If they
questions.
decide to have that.
We have a few questions coming in, which is actually the same question. So I'm going to summarize it. From Singapore, Thailand. Do they need to buy the Chi token in order to use 1inch, or is it an option, just an optional?
This is this is an option, so you don't have to own to keep it on the wallet to use 1inch. So everyone can use 1inch. So we are permissionless, and if you want little refund of your gas costs, you can use Chi token.
Okay, I'd like to segue now, to your latest launch, which is Uniswap. Can you share with us, because it's like really, really new, and there's so many things happening, at the same time in the DeFi space. Since we have both of you here right now, you share with us, okay, what is Mooniswap and why do you created it?
I will start and I will hand over to Antonio for technical things. So the initial idea was from the beginning, how Anton already said, we thought or the idea of OneInch was to also to reduce the earnings of arbitrage traders, yeah, because users lost more than it shouldn't be, yeah. And so we introduced this algorithm which combined all the small liquidity pools into single one and removed this huge arbitrage opportunity to rebalance if someone just swap with 5 price slippage on Uniswap, for example. So and in this Uniswap release, what we did, we again reduced the earnings of arbitrage traders. So the idea is that as we created some statistics. You can read the blog post on Medium, and we described how it looks like if we would have same liquidity on Uniswap, similar to Uniswap. So we compared it. So and on Uniswap, the liquidity provider earned only 0.3% for each swap. Right. And so we set also the price, the fees, same fees on Uniswap, but we are able to reduce it to 0. Yeah, we are not allowed to make it more than 0.3% from directly. It's defined in the contract, but we are able to reduce it to 0 when we see that it makes sense. Yeah, right now we have like 12 million of liquidity already since like 3 days on Uniswap. So and the thing is, if someone swap on Uniswap with a price slippage like 5, maybe 10%, yeah, if they like swap 100K of USDC to Ethereum, for example, they produce price slippage. And from the other side, arbitrage traders comes and arbitrage it back and rebalance the pool, yeah, because it's not the market price after this swap. They just moved the price at like 10% maybe, yeah, on 10% price slippage. So and arbitrage trader just start to arbitrage this 10%, a little bit less. It's actually 9.4 because you have 0.3 on normal swap from the user and 0.3 on the arbitrage swap. So the arbitrage trader earn on Uniswap price slippage. And in our case, most of the money is after the swaps of the arbitrage trader in the liquidity pool. So Anton, you can maybe explain a little bit technically as well.
Yeah, we decided that if someone produces huge slippage and lose a lot of money, it's unfair that the fastest arbitrage trader earns it immediately, and also shares huge part of it with miner by setting huge gas price to be really the first one who reached this opportunity. And we came up to idea that if someone have huge slippage and produce high price impact on the pool, we could not immediately provide a super arbitrageable price for opposite direction, but we could slightly improve it over the time. So we introduced virtual balances for both direction of the swaps on the swap curve, you know, it's curve. And these virtual prices are giving like virtual balances, which produces virtual prices for swapping to different directions. But if you would wait for 5 minutes, these virtual prices would reach real prices because they are moving all the time. It have formula which depends on time. So when you call it and ask for the price, it uses virtual balance and checks and returns the price. But if you would call this method what's the price in like after few seconds, it would return you different value. And the whole idea was do not immediately provide huge arbitrage opportunity after huge swaps, our prices behaves like a little bit lazy and provides and like slowly opening arbitrage opportunity. And arbitrage traders, because they hardly compete with each other, they do earn these small profits, but they do help pool to be rebalanced. And since price is worse than could be with real balances, pool earns a lot on this. You know, what we see that pool earns most part of this slippage, our pools. So
Okay.
for the users, it not really produce different results. If you would see like same pools with same liquidity on Uniswap and Muniswap, prices will be the same for the users. But what we see that when you're a liquidity provider, it
When you're a
makes a lot of
liquidity
sense.
provider, yes. When you put, so what you're saying right now is that you have created another platform called Muniswap, okay, which actually creates more benefits, okay, for the people who are providing liquidity, okay, to the pairs on Muniswap, because there is this additional benefits, okay, because of the way that you handle the slippage fees more fairly than what we currently have, okay, in Uniswap. Is that correct?
Yeah, most of AMMs do not can't even capture these slippage fees. They do have only fixed fee. Uniswap has fixed fee. Balancer have fixed fee, which you can configure when you create this pool.
Yes, that's right.
And we found the way to earn on slippage, but this happens only when arbitrage traders also works. Because if no one would arbitrage these pools, they will behave same way as Uniswap after 5-minute delays. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, basically, okay, Muniswap is able to help liquidity providers, okay, to earn from the savings in slippage fees. Is that correct?
No, it's like just turning swap fees into additional liquidity providers' earnings.
Okay,
And
turning.
what we computed for some Uniswap popular pools like USDC, Ether, and some other, that we see that what arbitrage traders actually earned on these pools during few latest months, and we see that arbitrage traders earnings are almost the same as liquidity providers' earnings. And on some pools, arbitrage traders' earnings are 3 to 5 times more than liquidity providers' earnings. For example, Wi-Fi pool,
Wi-Fi. Oh,
Wi-Fi,
Wi-Fi. Yes. Okay.
Wi-Fi. It's
Right.
Wi-Fi, yeah. So we decided that like instantly appearing huge arbitrage opportunity is not something good, and we should not share this huge part of potential profits with arbitrage traders, and we like turned most part of these slippages into liquidity providers earnings.
Okay. The next question, okay, that we have is that when we look at all the other projects, okay, that are being built in DeFi space, everybody has a different way of making their project came to where they are to be. Some started as a company and then they now operate as a DAO. Can you describe, okay, who is building, okay, 1inch right now? Okay, are you guys a DAO?
No, we are not a DAO. So we are. I'm like I am Anton. Our co-founders, yeah, and we run the company. So and we have already 16 people working for us. So they're like different, like PR manager, copywriter, 2 designers. Most of the developers are hackathon guys with huge experience working on Ethereum. So and yeah, we don't have a DAO, and we don't plan a DAO because like we don't see any kind of big value behind that. Of course, there's then a community, and everyone is interested to earn on the tokens of the DAO. Like you have seen tonight, Curve released the token of the DAO, but we see it like if you have no idea about how your tokenomics should looks like, you create a governance token. So
Right.
it sounds hard, yeah, but it's true, yeah. If you have no tokenomic, you launch a governance token. So OneInch is going to introduce a utility token.
Yeah.
Because we are going to build a great permissionless platform. So, and the utility token is really necessary for that. So, and we have in coming different economics for one single token. Yeah, because we have several products. We have right now aggregator. We launched Swap, and we are going to launch new products. So and so stay tuned.
Okay, so thanks for giving clarity. I think that for the community, it's really interesting, okay, that how different projects decide on how to build their project. And there is no right or wrong answer. I just want to let the community know that there's no right or wrong answer. Each way of doing things has its pros and cons, okay. Myself personally, I have participated in some DAOs, and there are definitely challenges, okay, if you want to like, especially when you are trying to build something, okay, and trying to get consensus, okay, when you are a DAO, it's very difficult. So there is no right or wrong, okay, in terms of how you want to basically build your project. Now,
one sec. We analyzed the current situation with the governance tokens, and
yeah,
we are friends with all the with the projects. I don't do here any finger pointing, but I have to mention that. So if you see Compound, yeah, you're a normal person. You are not allowed to create any proposals, right? So and to get enough, how you said, enough rights, enough votes for a proposal, it's also quite difficult, or I would say not possible for like normal people. So if you analyze all the wallets and the token holders, so the company owner of the company which run the service and work and develop the service, they own most of the tokens and the investors, yeah, and not the normal people. That's different. Yeah, Wi-Fi I earn is different. What I understand from Andrei, he doesn't own any tokens, so he liked to build and so on. It's a little bit different, but yeah, and it's more open. Yeah, but all the other projects, also here in Curve, yeah, it's criticism for Curve as well. They have investors and they have own tokens, and they can do what they want. They can decide what they want, and this is centralized thing. And then another thing is, from our point of view, governance token is a security token. It's not yet kind of regulated, but at the end, it's security. Yeah, and it's also dangerous. The best thing what you can do is permissionless protocols. To build permissionless protocols, such as Uniswap just destroyed Banker by introducing a permissionless liquidity protocol. Yeah, before was on Banker, like okay, if you want to list your own token, you have to pay a bunch of money, and you have to figure out, I don't know, you have to talk with them guys and so on. And permissionless is easy. Anyone can use that, and it's also from the law perspective, it's better, I would say. Yeah.
Wow, that those thank you for sharing all those okay very thought-provoking views because I think that I knew that Andre Cronje who is the founder of the Wi-Fi slash Wi-Fi YN protocol. I knew that okay when he launched okay his token there was no pre-mine, right? Okay, but I did not know he doesn't own any tokens. He doesn't own any
She
tokens.
wrote to me last time. She doesn't have anything.
Uh, then then how does he participate in the governance of the of what moving forward?
He
He
doesn't.
doesn't. He
He
doesn't.
doesn't.
Oh, that's so interesting. Okay.
She, how I said, it's different for this project. The community is in the focus, not himself, yeah, or his investors, yeah, and
Okay. I think that we have 5 more minutes, okay, with together, right? So, let's take more questions, okay. One of the questions, okay, is from Albert. Albert asked the question: is there an option to just purchase on one DEX, or do you always split buys among multiple DEXes? Um, would you like to take this question?
yeah. So it's very important to understand that we are getting into account of gas costs. This
Yeah.
is very important. Our algorithm finds the best distribution, but also by getting into account of the gas costs. This is different to all other projects existing out there. We are only how I know, only the one project who can do that. Yeah. So, and if our algorithms see, okay, it's important, you get the best price on the exchange or through our Pathfinder. So we have also extra products like Pathfinder. It finds the best route where you jump from one token to another, and to the end token. Yeah, it's like also kind of arbitrage opportunity to jump from Uniswap V1 to Uniswap V2 to Balancer and back to Kyber, and then to the end token. Um, it can generate you much more tokens, but you will pay much more gas costs. Yeah, for gas costs. And our algorithm see it and calculate. Okay, you get a little bit less on Uniswap, for example, or on Uniswap, and you will pay much less gas costs, and it choose the best one. So by getting into account of the gas costs, and we don't split anytime all the time. We split if it's really necessarily mathematically proven.
Yeah, but I can add that if you still want, for some reason, swap on single DEX, you can opt out any DEXes you don't wish to split on.
Yeah.
Yong has a clarifying question to ask about Uniswap. He asks, okay, in theory, does that mean Uniswap lower the slippage and in process provide tighter spreads?
I have not good news for traders because it not really improves slippages for traders. It have the same slippages as on Uniswap.
You
Yeah.
mentioned this, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because formula is the same. But
Right.
as Sergey said, for now we configured it also to have fixed fee 0.3. But
Right.
we are gonna look at it how it would perform, and possibly we would decrease it or even make zero fee, because like any other projects can set zero fee because they will earn nothing. But our pools can earn on slippages more than on fixed fee. So at some point in time, we will be able to reduce this fixed fee or even disable it. This would improve prices for sure.
Okay. I like to segue okay a little bit because when I actually was reading okay some other articles and I was watching other AMAs, okay, that you had. One of the things that I found really interesting is that when you first got into crypto, okay, the thing that was very rampant, okay, from where you're from, Russia, okay, is crypto Ponzi's, right? Okay, can we talk a little bit about what was your attitude towards it, and how did you find, okay, how do you manage to find your way, okay, into building, okay, 1inch and all that right now?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, let me elaborate. That's how we started. We started in September of 2018. We started with security audits of smart contracts in live streams on YouTube.
Right.
So it was some kind of Ponzi hype in Russia or in like nearby countries, and we did a lot of audits of the smart contracts to make sure that they do not have any backdoors, bugs, and before each video we noticed all the users do not to participate in this because most of them will lose their money, and it's obvious for us. And
Yeah,
we performed more than 100 security audits in half a year, and you could imagine it's like 3 to 4 hours video where we're like reading each line of code and describing it and like discussing potential security issues.
Yeah,
Sergey?
the idea was to teach the people they shouldn't trust just because it calls smart contract. Yeah,
Yeah.
they should understand what it's inside of the smart contract. So
People don't read. People don't know.
we try
People don't
to
know. Yeah. People
we
don't
try
know
to
how to read. People don't read, and people don't know how to read also.
yeah, and we teach the people like a half year, and every night we were like in a live stream, and we try to make it clear for the people they shouldn't invest in any Ponzi schemes because they would lose the money. Were able to show charts where we showed and we calculated when the Ponzi scheme will die. And it was crazy time. I got a lot of threats from these Ponzi scheme guys. They threatened to kill me. I had to go to police, and but at the end, police couldn't help me because it was like Russian guys. So I bought a gun, and I bought a bulletproof vest, and I got to live stream and I said, guys, I'm ready. You're welcome. But yeah, after that, I didn't get any threats anymore.
Okay. Okay.
It was a really crazy time, but yeah, we tried to help the people. How we tried to help with the BZX hack, for example. So we had access to $2.5 million, and we reported that we didn't steal that, and yeah, you see, like we are white hackers.
Wow. Okay. Crypto. Okay. It's I think that one of the takeaways that I got from this, okay, is that people need to, number one, don't buy into crypto Ponzi's, okay, don't buy into smart contract Ponzi's. It's really disheartening, okay, to see, when we visit the ETH gas station, okay, that in the top 10, I think 4 or 6, okay, of the top guzzlers are still all these smart contract Ponzi's. The only way that we can reduce the impact is that if more people, okay, understand what is real, what is not, okay, what is legit, what is full of not legit. Don't buy into crypto Ponzi's. It is unhealthy for the crypto space. Yes, and thank you so much, okay, for the education that you're trying to do, that you have done, okay, for the community in terms of teaching people. There's not enough people, okay, learning how to read smart contracts. People don't read smart contracts. People underestimate, okay, smart contract risk. Again, okay, I hope you guys have listening in right now from Vietnam, from Philippines, from Indonesia, Singapore, and Malaysia. Hear it loud and clear, okay, that smart contract risk, do not underestimate it, don't buy crypto Ponzi's. Now, the last question that I have for all of you, both of you, is what would you like, okay, the community, okay, to how can we help you, okay, the people listening in right now from all parts of Southeast Asia, what does 1inch need right now?
Yeah, share 1inch and explain your next like friends that it makes no sense to swap anymore on Uniswap directly because you don't really know if you get the right price, the best price, you know. So use 1inch to get the best price, and if you plan to provide liquidity, use Uniswap because you will also earn on the price slippages, Anton.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. So right now we see that volumes are not distributed in a fair manner on the market because market is still unbalanced because some people do know some swap platforms and they do know nothing about all the other DeFi products that aggregators exist, and they do have huge slippages. They, for example, swap on single DEX, and they do not hear anything about aggregators. They have sometimes few percent slippages, and they just feed arbitrage traders. They lose a lot of money and feed arbitrage traders. It's not good from my point of view. So we wish all the DeFi users to be more educated,
Yeah.
to learn more about new products. As you said, people don't know how to read smart contracts. They don't need to. They need to read smart contract audits from auditors. They have
This
not
is
just
very important. Yeah, comparing to Jam or Jam, I don't know what how to pronounce that. The last high project, it was alive 2 days only,
Yes,
Jump.
and
yes.
they just fucked up. Sorry for the wording. In the smart contracts, they wrote like we don't need any audits and it's okay, everything is good, and we just forked everything. But at the end, you have humans behind that, and humans make kind of mistakes, and because of that, it's very important to have audits. For Muniso, for example, we had 2 audits. The third one is coming, and the fourth one is also coming. So we're working
Loud and clear.
in this manner.
Loud and clear. Okay. Do not underestimate the smart contract risk.
Yeah.
Audits are hugely important.
Yeah, let me elaborate a bit. When we started and did some Ponzi audits, we met Ponzi's even without source code uploaded to Etherscan. And when we talked to their developers in chats, like, open your source code, we will audit it, some of the community members responded to us, it's smart contract, it's safe. It's safe because it's smart contract. But, you know, it's not mean this, because it's smart contract, it means that there is some logic developed by some people and could also have some bugs and backdoors. Yeah, for
Bugs and
these
backdoors,
people.
that's right. Bugs and backdoors. Yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
For now, people also have like those who can't read smart contracts. They started reading like they heard that this project have audits. It's safe, but it's also can be unsafe because it's matter to read what audit contains. I would not like name some projects right now, but there was a story in DeFi when project appeared with top tier auditors company report, but it was hacked. But if you would read this report, you would see that they ordered like one man from this company for 1 week, but they suggested them to hire four people for 4 weeks. So this was like a super lightweight audit, and it was not able to find all the possible bugs. And they do not follow it auditor's recommendation how much people to hire and for what duration, and they ordered like the cheapest possible audit from this company, and in result it was hacked.
Okay, so I think that there's a very important question, okay, here then, all right? Because we are now transitioning our trust, okay, into codes, okay, smart contracts. If we are going to put our trust into smart contracts, these smart contracts need to be audited, okay, by reputable, trustworthy auditors. Any specific names that you can drop that people should, of smart contract auditors, okay, that you highly respect, okay, in the space, so that people know, okay, this auditor, okay, does it, or is it something that we have no choice? Everyone needs to learn how to read smart contract audit reports.
Yeah, but reading audit report is not quite difficult because it's written in English. You have to just read what they wrote. They do some analysis and have some summarization. You can read like few paragraphs and you will like understand how thoughtful this audit was. And if you would see like project have multiple audits, it's much better.
Okay, all right. Maybe what's that? One of the things that I am definitely going to do after Southeast Asia DeFi Week is to organize a separate session, okay, on yeah, let's do a session, okay, of reading smart contract audits together. All right, sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
So do you have anything, okay, final, okay, things you'd like to say, okay, to the community and the people listening in right now, okay, about maybe the state of DeFi, okay, before we end the session? Anton first?
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, what I have to say, I have just summarized everything what we said today. That do not invest in Ponzi schemes, but it's quite difficult to distinguish existing real projects with Ponzi schemes because some of them do really gives like 100% annually, and yeah, so you have to follow some top DeFi influencers because they always do some analysis. They do check these audit reports, and checking this influencers' opinion on the project matters a lot for your safety.
Who is
Yeah.
one
So
person on Twitter, okay, that, just one name? One name. Can you give one?
Sergey, can you
Well,
give name of influencers?
Just one name.
one name of
Yes.
influencers who DeFi that
DeFi that.
Chris
Okay.
Chris Black.
Chris Black. Okay. All right. How about you, Sergey? Well, one thing, okay, that you'd like to say, okay, to the community before we wrap up, okay, our session today.
Yeah, stay safe. Take care about your money. Don't trust anyone. Verify. Yeah, and keep
Don't trust,
swapping.
verify.
Keep swapping
Don't
on
trust.
it.
Don't trust, okay. Keep verifying, okay. Try Swap, okay. Provide liquidity. Be a liquidity provider,
No,
okay.
no financial advice. No
Not
financial
financial
advice.
advice. Not
But
financial
keep
advice,
swapping.
okay. But these are the things, okay, that are building in the DeFi space, okay. And their differences. Okay, over the last 7 days, you have learned, okay, all the different kinds of protocols. We've covered a lot. We've come from lending protocols, starting from basics, okay, Compound, Aave, what they can do with Uniswap, and now we've come, okay, to DEX aggregators and Uniswap. Again, Anton, Sergey, thank you so much, okay, for joining us for Southeast Asia DeFi Week. It has been really, really good. I'm bet, okay, that the community is getting more clarity as to what they should do and what they should not do in the DeFi space, thanks to the work that you guys do. So with that, okay, the next session, okay, is going to be with Loopring, okay. We're going to take a 5-minute break, okay. I'm going to put up some music, okay, and we'll be back here in about 4:06, okay, to continue on to the next session. Okay, so thank you, Anton. Okay, thank you, Sergey. And we hope to, okay, see you guys again, okay, in Southeast Asia soon. Bye.
Sure. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Would it kill me just to try and take a sec to myself? 'Cause I don't know why I always spiral instead. But a voice inside my head said I should care. That I should care. That I should care. I don't know why I always spiral. Maybe I should care. Really careless. I don't know why I always spiral. Maybe I should care. Really careless.
Darling, I've been down. The last ones they walked out. I couldn't count on them to be there now. So I went and lost faith that I would be okay. Then you came around and showed me the right way. Never gotta wonder about you, 'cause I know that you're gonna come through. And no, never gotta worry you'll go. Reason why I'm always at home. Never gotta wonder. Never gotta wonder. Where did you come from? Bringing that good love. I never knew it was real till you showed up. 'Cause you always on it.
Shall we go live now? Okay, good. All right, welcome back, everyone. We are going into our next speaker. We're going to be talking about Loopring, okay, in the next 1 hour. Now, what is Loopring? Okay, Loopring is really, really interesting because I use Loopring. I use Loopring because when you trade, when you do trading, okay, on Loopring, you actually save a lot on gas fees, because Loopring is a what we call a layer 2 solution on the Ethereum blockchain. So when you do your trading there, okay, you are trading on the platform, okay, and then it settles, okay, on the main chain later. So one of the interesting things, okay, it has a really clean interface. Really easy to use. All you need to do is to connect your wallet, okay, to Loopring. It's also still a decentralized exchange. Same rules apply. You still have custody of your coins, and yeah, you get to save a lot of fees. To understand, okay, much more better, okay, of what Loopring is, okay, and how do they actually do this with this thing called ZK rollups. We are very happy, okay, to have with us Matthew Finestone from the Loopring team. Thank you so much, Matthew, okay, for being with us today.
Thank you for having me, Jason, and hello, everybody.
So the first question I'd like to ask you, Matthew, is how are you? How are you in this DeFi day today?
Oh, I'm okay. Never a dull moment. So
Never a dull moment in
yeah,
the DeFi space.
that's right.
We receive I think we're receiving every single day. Every single day there's at least 5 things that are happening in the space. Anyways,
That's true.
the first thing that I'd like to ask you, okay, is that can you tell us a little bit more about how old is Loopring? Because a lot of people, when they first hear about DeFi, okay, they think that DeFi is this thing that just existed or bloomed, okay, overnight, because of the amount of traction that it gets, okay, from 500 million in March, okay, to 1 billion in June, 2 billion in July, 4 billion, 8 billion, 16 billion now. They think that this is happening, okay, just like that. Can you share with us, okay, about Loopring, okay? How old is Loopring?
Yeah, exactly. So we're a bit old for DeFi, context. I guess we predate the term. We've been around for just over 3 years, 3 years and 2 weeks to be exact. We had our birthday on August 1st. So that was our third birthday. So yeah, just over 3 years.
Happy birthday.
Thank
So,
you.
can you describe, okay, a little bit, okay, about back then before DeFi was a sexy word, right? Um, what made, okay, you guys built Loopring? What at that time, okay, did you already foresee that gas prices are going to go up, and that's why you need a layer two product?
Yeah, good question. So when we started, we didn't know what layer two was, for sure not. Again, I'm not sure, or if we did know, it wasn't our target. It wasn't something that we focused on. We were just a DEX protocol. Before the sexy word of DeFi, it was just DEXes were probably, DEXes were DeFi before DeFi was a term. That's what we were. We were just a DEX protocol. We had more. We didn't have this layer two mentality. We were kind of. We did everything off chain. We hosted order books off chain, did matching, and then submitted match trades onto the Ethereum blockchain. So kind of what most people are familiar with is like the 0x model, like that. So it's not like Kyber or Uniswap or 1inch. Now it was more like 0x with order books, and yeah.
Can we start with that? Okay. Can you maybe describe and give some clarity, okay, to the viewers? Okay. How is Loopring different from, say, Kyber, which is also an order book exchange?
So how is it different? You skipped for 1 second. How is it different from
Kyber.
Okay, sure. So yeah, in its current form, so Loopring was always concerned with building order book exchanges. So the feeling that when you go onto Binance or Kraken or whatever your favorite centralized exchanges, although hopefully you're not using too many these days. Hopefully you're using just DEXes because there's plenty to choose from. But the order books where you see a list of offers, a list of bids, and that sort of feeling, that's what we were always building. So right there, it's a difference than Kyber or Uniswap, where you just had like the simple swap functionality, right? This is my input, this is my output, token A to B. That's it. That's let's call that a simple swap functionality. We were an order book functionality. Now, the truth is, I'll just cut right to it. Order books are not very attractive on Ethereum because for an order book, the market makers on there, the people that are providing liquidity, need to be able to place orders, remove orders very quickly, right? They're very price sensitive. They're moving. Liquidity isn't defined by some curve like Uniswap. So our problem was scalability really from the beginning, because we could only have settled 2 to 3 trades in our old version. And so for the first year and a half of our life, we were very slow, thanks to the Ethereum blockchain, right? You can't do things so fast, but certain structures need speed and need that low latency ability, and order books are one of them. So about a year and a half ago, which was a year and a half into our life, we started looking at scalability solutions very deeply, and we settled on ZK rollups, and we became the first team that implemented a ZK rollup on Ethereum. And ZK rollup is just one flavor of layer 2, which we'll talk about in depth in a second. But yeah, so about a year and a half ago, we really started down that scalability path. How could we settle more trades per second and more cheaply? That's what scalability means in that context. Higher throughput for less cost per trade or per action, and that's what we've been focused on ever since. And we've become a leader in that vertical, is scaling these actions.
How will you describe ZK rollups to a 5-year-old?
Okay, yeah. So I've had a bit of practice at this, so hopefully I've gotten better, because it's not easy. It's not easy to explain it to a 55-year-old, let alone a 5-year-old. So, but really, what the mindset of ZK rollups, or of layer 2 in general, is trying to do as much as you can off chain, but still being tied to Ethereum in a meaningful way. So for ZK rollups, what we do, or what a ZK rollups does, is it maps the state of the world into an off-chain data structure. When I say state of the world, I mean the state of something that we care about. In this case, a DEX. So our DEX does not live on layer 1 Ethereum. It lives in the normal world, the off-chain world, in a Merkle tree, just a sort of off-chain data structure. You might have heard of Merkle trees. They're very important throughout Ethereum and throughout blockchain in general.
The viewers will have to put a pin on that and then circle back.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, maybe just to describe that very briefly, although I don't want to get sidetracked. On a Merkle tree, you have one little root at the top, which summarizes a whole bunch of things beneath it. So here's the root of the tree. In this case, the root is on top, not on the bottom. So it's a bit. But here's a root, and then beneath it you have two more things, and then two more, and then two more. That is the data structure, and the root is just summarizes the rest of the tree succinctly. So, but yeah, see, it's easy to get sidetracked. But so what we're doing is we have this off-chain data structure, and we want to do all computation off-chain. Right now, like when you trade on 1inch or you trade from Uniswap, you're doing everything on chain, right? That's where the computations are happening. That's where the gas is being expended. We say, let's execute what we're trying to execute off-chain, and then just prove after the fact with some very fancy, quite frankly, mathematics, what people call, zero knowledge cryptography is just a branch of cryptography or a branch of math. And with it, you could prove a statement, or you could prove a statement or a computation is true or is faithful with just a small little thumbprint of the thing itself. So then
that goes on chain.
Exactly. So we do a bunch of computations off chain. We prove it with this kind of black box, if you will, of mathematics that says, okay, here is something, we put it through this machine, and here is a proof, kind of like a compressed, it's like we took a whole bunch of mess, we compressed it into one little thumbprint, and the thumbprint says everything in there is true, otherwise this proof would not exist, just by the properties of this mathematics. Here is the proof, we submit that to Ethereum, and Ethereum is just acting as a verification layer, saying, yes, this is a proof. I agree. Carry on. And then that's what it's doing.
So well done. Okay. You did it excellently.
Thank you. I hope.
So now that is what Loopring is known for right now. Okay, it's like the white knight of gas fees right now. Okay, people can now have an option. Those listening in, you now have an option if you want to do trading, and you still want custody of your own coins. There's a DEX called Loopring, which has this available for you right now. So really, but Loopring is more than that, right? There's so many things. Can you share with us what you guys are building right now? What's to look forward to in Loopring? Because I noticed you mentioned you're 3 years old, first version done and done with. The current version is Loopring 2.0, and there's a Loopring 3.0 coming up. Is that right?
Almost perfect. The history well. This is actually the ZK rollup version is version 3. So we had version 1, we had version 2. Version 2 was kind of, not that special. It was like version 1 with a bit of extra, fancy features in it. But then only version 3 was the ZK rollup version. So it took a few tries to get here, and indeed, so we were always DEX protocol people. Our whole life, we were just trying to build DEX protocols, and that was true even with the ZK rollup version. Just we tried to do it in a scalable way there. What is notable in our recent history is, so in February, with our Loopring ZK rollup live, which allowed us to, serve users in this very gas efficient way, which is a hot topic now. We said, okay, we actually want to operate a product on top of the protocol. So while we were just a protocol for our whole life, meaning just like back end, lower level, the rules of the game, right? Just a protocol, not a product. We moved up the stack in February of this year, and we operate the Loopring exchange on top of the Loopring open source protocol. So Loopring.io is our product that we operate on top of our own open source protocol. Then the big change, or meaningful change, is in June of this year, so just a few months ago, gas prices started to creep up, and a lot of the Ethereum community, especially Vitalik, notably, was saying, like, because we were the first ZK rollup on Ethereum. We deployed in December. Now we have some great peers in the ZK rollup world. There's a few others that are being deployed, but we were the only ones, and gas prices were creeping up, and they said, hey, Loopring is good for trades, where I could, do trades in this high performance, low gas way. What about just enabling transfers? Because gas fees are getting so expensive that even simple transfers are getting expensive. So the community was saying, and hey, can't you support transfers? And we can. That's very simple. It's a lot easier than trading is simple payments for us. So we extended the functionality of the protocol with Loopring Pay, what we called. So in the same way that we could do trades in this ZK rollup, high throughput, low fee way, we could also just do transfers. So while Loopring started its life as a DEX protocol, we are now, our identity is a ZK rollup scalability protocol for Ethereum exchanges and payments. So we've kind of expanded our identity for not just trading, but trading and transfers.
Cool, trading and transfers. So one of the things, one of the questions that's coming in right now is Chanel from Philippines. She's asking, have you seen an increase, in users, on Loopring since, this DeFi craze?
Right, and the rise of, in correlation with the rise of gas, exactly, yeah. So it's interesting. The limelight is definitely on layer 2 right now, more than ever. While we definitely have an increase in awareness and kind of the high level, just people realize that this is a problem and they realize that Loopring is a solution, it has not necessarily translated into as many users as you think right now in this crisis. Let's call, the post 100 Gwei, 200 Gwei, 300 Gwei world. Let's call this a crisis. It's not like the past week has seen a real rush into our layer 2. We have seen, so what's really nice is it's really easy, because even though I'm talking about layer 2 and you do things off chain, we are completely tied to Ethereum as a security model. If Ethereum exists, a user's funds on Loopring are safe, period. There's nothing the team could do, a malicious actor could do. But what's important, with that in mind, I could tell you right now how many users we have. It's just like a little value on Ethereum. It's 4,410 users, something like that, 4,410. So it's pretty cool. That doesn't seem like a lot to to normal world people, they say, oh, only 4,400 people. But to us, as far as getting DeFi users onto layer 2, which is a bit more of a trek out there, we are pleased with that number. And it's been growing steadily all summer. Where we saw really the big two moments where we saw users increase was when we launched Loopring.io, we had 1,500 users in the first week. And then when we launched Loopring Pay, we had, again, a rush of users that wanted to use it for transfers. Right now, are we seeing tons of new users every day? We see about maybe 20 to 40 new users a day. But I'll wrap up with this. It's kind of a paradox about not being able to see that many new users in this gas crisis, because to get onto the ZK rollup, to get into the fast lane, as I like to call it, you need to make an on-chain transaction, right? Because you're starting on layer 1, you have to kind of like onboard, it's like step up onto the next layer. That costs gas.
Right.
And right now, with this high gas price, it's costing people like, yesterday it could have cost $20 just to get onto Loopring, because the gas fees are so crazy, right? Everybody sees it. It could also cost $20 to do a simple Uniswap trade.
Right.
It's very hard. A user comes to Loopring, they say, oh, this is cool. This is going to allow me to go faster, much cheaper. Okay, let me on. It's just one on-chain transaction. Oh, $20. Okay, maybe I'll do this later because I don't want to pay $20 just to get onto the venue. So it's a bit of a catch-22. We want to welcome everybody. We're like this lifeboat that says, come here. You won't pay gas to trade or to transfer, but first you have to pay this almost like this entry cost, which there's nothing we could do about. So that is a bit of in my opinion, a resistance to seeing a huge increase right now in this gas times.
That kind of like answers one of the community members' questions already. Now, there's another question coming in from Vietnam right now, and it's kind of like more like a statement, okay? And then I'll ask the question. So the statement is that the reason why Uniswap is gaining so much traction right now is because the way that the user interface is like really simple, and people can create liquidity pools like very easily. So people are, common knowledge game theory is that when they start to see one person do it successfully, and then they can see a huge marginal difference compared to CeFi, where if you wanted to get listed on a centralized crypto exchange, okay, you need to pay a fee to get listings and go through all these things. That is, it's much more easier. They see it, okay, Uniswap. It's both a double-edged sword, okay, good and bad can come from that. Like fraudulent coins, okay, being listed on Uniswap, okay, can't be stopped as well. People just need to be educated. But in the case, okay, of Loopring, right, okay, is there a reason why the pairs, okay, are limited?
Right, good question from you and the community member. That is a huge difference, and it's a structural difference that is there. It's not like a design decision that we want to make. Uniswap is all on chain. There's no component that you need to ask permission for, right? There it is. It's all on chain. Loopring, even though we have this security guarantees of Ethereum, we are off chain, and so by definition, you're in the real world, right? The normal world where there's humans and some type of permission to do something before Ethereum. So to gain our benefits of no gas fees and high throughput, right? 2,000 trades per second versus our old 2, right? We could go 1,000 times faster. There still is this off-chain world that you have to contend with. So that means, I'll say this as a shortcut for understanding. I'm sure the audience right now is quite advanced, but if I meet somebody that's familiar with crypto and they say, so what is Loopring? I say, well, Loopring is like a centralized exchange. It's like, depending what country they're from, I'll list the biggest centralized exchange in their part of the world, and I'll say, it's like Binance or it's like Kraken, except you could never do anything evil with users' funds. It's like we are a centralized exchange, but our hands are completely tied. We could never touch assets. We could never lose assets to hackers. So it's fair to think about Loopring as a centralized exchange for all that means. That means, one-click trading, quick, instant, no waiting for block times, no paying gas, but with Ethereum security. So we have those considerations. We have to decide which pairs to list on what's called the relayer. The off-chain world is serviced by a relayer or an operator. It's kind of the person that hosts the Merkle tree and does these computations is an off-chain entity called an operator, and it needs to say, okay, I want to list the ETH USDT pair, ETH DAI, LRC ETH. We need to support those pairs because it's a trading pair with a matching engine. Our matching engine is not on Ethereum. It is not Ethereum itself like Uniswap. It is an old school matching engine, just happens to be tied to Ethereum for security. But that is why, and it's true. Sometimes I'm very jealous of the fact that Uniswap, anything could be on there in the click of a button. Any user could spin it up, and everybody could add liquidity to it. I'm jealous of that. For our case, we have to have these very human processes of, okay, should we list this pair? Yes, we configure it. Now here it is. Now we have to add liquidity to it by getting market makers or adding some ourselves. So it's definitely true that you cannot just jump right into a deep liquidity pool with any token. That is a disadvantage of our system.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not like something like what can happen with the YAM token, 500 million solely just basically of liquidity, right, in that token yesterday. But that being said, how would you describe? Okay, so what is on-chain is that, and what you don't have access to people's funds, you don't have access to people's, trade functionalities and etc. Okay, but what are the things, okay, that are actually being governed off-chain? And is there a sorry, I think the best way to go about this question is, how does Loopring, what does Loopring currently look like, okay, in terms of the people governing it? Is it a company? Is it a DAO?
Right, sure. So, so Loopring is an open source protocol, first and foremost, just it's a bunch of smart contracts, like any other DeFi protocol, plus a bunch of zero knowledge circuits. Those two things are open source. That is the Loopring protocol. A bunch of open source smart contracts, and then a bunch of zero knowledge circuits. Those zero knowledge circuits are like those, as I said, it's kind of like a smart contract. It's just a program, except it does, they're called these arithmetic circuits. It's that zero knowledge black box that we spoke about. But so it's just a bunch of open source contracts and circuits, and we built them. We're about 20 people, Loopring team. We're actually mostly based in Shanghai. I'm in Canada, but most of the team is over in Shanghai. So yeah, we're a team. It is not a DAO right now, but what is off chain is the thing called the operator that I alluded to before. And really, what is off chain? The true answer is as much as possible. Every single thing, a helpful way to think about it is like when we first started, we hosted the order book off chain, matched it off chain, and then settled onto Ethereum. That was what we did 3 years ago, right? And that's what people like 0x were doing back then as well. To get higher throughput, though, we said, okay, let's do everything off chain, even settlement, and then batch a bunch of these together and get that proof that we talked about, the compressed validity proof. So what is off-chain is basically this beast of a software, to be honest, that takes a lot of computation power called the operator. So the operator hosts the Merkle tree, updates the Merkle tree, and then when it has enough new updates, it batches them together, proves them, which is a very computationally heavy job. We use a lot of AWS or Google Cloud compute power to generate these proofs. We're generating these ZK SNARK proofs, which stand for zero knowledge, succinct, non-interactive arguments of knowledge. It's a lot of words, but all that matters really, most importantly, is the word succinct. These succinct proofs that we mentioned. So that is being generated by an operator which lives in a normal cloud, right? But when you submit that to Ethereum, that is where, that is our security guarantee. That's where we are basically tied, very tightly to Ethereum, and there's no extra security assumptions that anybody has to be comfortable with to use Loopring, as I said. So really a good way to think about this, I mentioned before that we're using Ethereum as a verification layer. It just basically, like, Loopring is a bunch of smart contracts, but the one that's like most prominent is the verifier that just takes in a proof and says, yep, that's a real proof. I see it. That means that it's true. Otherwise, you can't forge a proof. You cannot falsify a proof. So it's the verifier contract, and that is the main contract. It's basically saying, so it's a verification layer, and also very importantly, it's hard to get into the weeds on this technical topic. It's a data availability layer. We use it as a verifier, but also to store relevant data. That's where we get our security properties, is because all the data necessary for somebody to see what the heck is going on in this layer 2 ZK rollup, all of that is on Ethereum. So it's we use Ethereum as a verification layer and as a data availability layer, which you might have heard recently in the scaling debate, data availability. Do you keep data on Ethereum or do you keep it somewhere else? So that is our structure.
Right. Now, we have a question, from Indonesia. The question is, if it is off-chain, and the pairs are determined off-chain as well, what is the procedure like, in order to get a token listed on, say, Loopring?
Right. Yeah, it's a good question. We are a lot, it's similar in theory to a centralized exchange, except we aren't charging high fees and trying to extort token issuers. We list for free. Basically, if it's an ERC20 token and doesn't have any weird functionality in it, like let's say like the Ample token that has been popular lately, like Ample is an ERC20, but with like some weird functions, right? It does that rebase thing. So if it has any type of funky functionality, it's hard for us to support it in the Merkle tree. But if it's like a standard vanilla ERC20, like 95% of them are, we could support it. So that's the first thing. It's like a bit of a technical test. We say, okay, can this fit? Yes, it does. Is there demand from the community? Because we don't just want to, even though it's a centralized process, we could list right now the top 50 trading pairs. But the real consideration is, okay, it passes the technical test. Does our community want it, or does the community of that token, do they really want to come on to Loopring for gas-free DEX trading? But the real one is liquidity. Again, because we cannot have liquidity just by a simple Uniswap, hey, deposit funds here, now you're liquid, we need, just like a normal order book exchange, market makers who are kind of on this trading pair saying, I will sell here, I will buy here, that are continuously making the market. That doesn't need to be a big firm, doesn't need to be some professional firm. It could be one individual running a bot, but that is our concern. It is first the technical question, then the liquidity question. Can we ensure that the order book will be attractive? Because the last thing we want is 1,000 pairs that are, and 90% of them are just dead. They're deserted, right, with nobody on them. That is the difference between us. That's why we can't support so quickly the long tail of assets, right? If a token comes out today, it's a random token, it's hard for us to support it. We need to make sure that there are some people who are bootstrapping the order book, providing an initial layer, an initial little bit of sales and bids, asks and bids to be able to support it. So to answer it more succinctly, we have a form where we ask those questions, but at the end of the day, those are the considerations.
Got it. Okay, so to recap, it is a combination, okay, between the community's buy-in as well, right? After getting the community's buy-in, and then somebody has to actually bootstrap the liquidity, then it can be listed, okay, on Loopring. Now, the next question is, where's the communication vehicle of Loopring? Okay, where do people actually, where is the community for Loopring?
Right. Yeah. I guess similar to much of DeFi and the space is it's Twitter. You know, it's Twitter is where a lot of things happen, and Discord and Telegram. I mean, for our community, we have a very large community in China. So for us, it's a lot of WeChat. Yeah, but really the community, it's Twitter, Loopring.org, or the Discord. Maybe we could put it in the notes after, but that's where it is. We try to stay as available as possible, and yeah, that's where it's happening.
Okay. Another question from I think it's about the Loopring token, right? So in terms of the Loopring token, is it similar to what is the Loopring token? Is it similar to the Binance? Okay, is it a utility token for using the platform?
Right. So I see by the way, I realize I haven't been looking at the questions. I've been in the private chat, but now I see all the questions. So that's
It's
fair.
okay. Let me help you with that.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So so LRC is like an exchange token, as you like in the Binance sense. It does give users a share of the activity on the network. So it's not exactly a burn model, but yeah, it's a close enough model where enough usage of the exchange and of the protocol itself is good for token holders. It distills into LRC stakers. So specifically, LRC can be staked by people, and stakers earn a percent of the protocol fee. And the protocol fee is 6 basis points, 0.06% of all activity on any Loopring-based exchange, not just Loopring.io, right? There's actually another exchange built on Loopring version 3 called DEXes. So anything that happens there also goes to LRC stakers. So more volume, more activity equals more protocol fees for stakers. The one little cool extra utility of it is not for regular people, the masses who stake it, but actually for the DEX owners also have to stake LRC. So like Loopring.io, our own exchange product on top, we have to stake LRC as a bit of a security guarantee for a good level of service. Not security guarantee for the safety of users' funds, right? That is always Ethereum only. Nothing extra, no crypto economic games or stake or slashing. That's just Ethereum level security. But I mentioned that operator. It's possible the operator misbehaves in certain ways. Of course, again, it cannot touch your funds at all. But what it can do is be slow. Maybe it could like ignore a request. Somebody is requesting, hey, I want to do this operation. The operator could be sleeping, or it could have had a data outage and its data center is out. There's a DEX owner has to stake something as basically like a service level guarantee that says, I will submit blocks this time period. I will not revert blocks. And if they are slow, then they'll get slashed. So LRC is stakeable by everyday users or everyday speculators or supporters, but also the DEX owners themselves as a little extra assurance to optimal behavior. And I see I'm not sure if that's the same question you're reading from, but it says, I cannot stake my LRC tokens within the Loopring environment. That's very true. You have to, like the staking contract is on layer 1, which means interacting with gas fees. I hate that. I really want to get staking onto layer 2. It's not trivial, but we are looking at that right now for upcoming protocol release. I'm not sure if it'll be in this release, version 3.6, or a subsequent one, but for sure, my goal is that staking will actually just mean if you hold LRC on the Loopring ZK rollup, whether that's loopring.io or just in general, if you have LRC there, then automatically staking. So no gas fees, very simple. That's what we're aiming towards. So great question. That's our goal.
So the other thing, okay, that I'd like to ask you is, in terms of the state of DeFi right now, okay, what are your thoughts? Okay, are you happy with the traction that you're getting right now? Is the Loopring team buying Lambos?
Oh, well, maybe those are two different questions, but they're fair ones. I mean, so definitely no Lambos for us. I'll start with that. We're a very kind of low-key team. I mean, to many people, I'm the only person they've ever seen on Loopring because, I handle the business stuff, and then honestly, 18 of us are engineers, and then our COO is also perhaps a non-technical person. So we are 18 highly technical people, and then me, for all intents and purposes. So we're not. That's just a bit of our culture right there. As far as the state of traction, we're very pleased with. I mean, we're pleased at all levels. We're pleased that DeFi. We think it's unbelievable traction. Obviously, it's the winning narrative right now. Everybody wants to become DeFi. We're very pleased with Ethereum traction, right? If people are paying $20 per transaction, it means they value what they're doing. Of course, it might not be the noble uses that we all want, right? We're not banking the unbanked right now. We're serving DeFi degens and stuff like that. But hey, it has to start somewhere. So we're very pleased with the overall traction. And for us specifically, it's been the most popular and busy times of our lives, right? Like it's possible that last year, this time, I go to somebody and they say, "Oh, I'm not familiar with Loopring. What is that?" But now it's a nice feeling that we're at least recognized. Everybody knows that, oh, Loopring, let's layer 2 scalability. That's ZK rollups. That's, so it's very nice just at a surface level, honestly, that people know us, right? It's just a humbling thing. We're very appreciative. It wasn't always like that, right? I used to go to conferences, here I am wearing an Ethereum, an ETH New York shirt. Probably when I was there 2 years ago, maybe people didn't know what we were up to. Now everybody knows Loopring, ZK rollup. So in that sense, that is a real great thing to see. Now we need to bring this to many, many, many more users, and we're pretty confident we will.
What about the health? Okay, what would you say? Okay, to the community. Okay, would be unhealthy trends. Okay, in the space, and what would be considered some solutions. Okay, to move towards a healthier state.
Yeah.
What is it that you don't like to see in the DeFi space less of?
Right. I mean, I guess, this question is loaded with the recent YAM context. Like that's
I don't know, it's an open question.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, I don't think too deeply about what should and should not be happening. To me, the big innovation here is that we have this parallel financial system that is being built before our eyes, and it's being pulled in 100 different directions. So it's easy to say, oh, this is an experiment. Of course, you can't just slap that label on everything and be reckless, right? I don't, but I am not in a position to, patronize or say this is what we should be doing, this is what we shouldn't, because, the whole beauty of this is it's an emergent system. This will fail, this will fail, that'll be bad, that'll hurt people, that'll be bad. And then, oh, here is an amazing thing, right? Maybe it's the 10th try of some type of, maybe there's going to be like a YAM number 2 and a 3 in different names, different colors. And then like YAM number 10 might be a breakthrough innovation for something, right? So I think the permissionless nature of this is the feature, right? It's not a bug. The fact that somebody made a game that could have hurt somebody, it's sad to see. And I'm actually particularly sensitive. I hate to see people get burned like that, but we have to recognize that that openness is what is giving us an edge, right? We can't mandate and really direct all this creative energy, because then we'll lose what makes us unique and move fast, I think. So
Great. Now, the last question, okay, that I have for you is, how can we help you? How can the people listening in right now from Vietnam, from Philippines, from Singapore, Indonesia, Vietnam, Malaysia, help Loopring? What does Loopring need right now?
right. Okay, thank you. I mentioned we were speaking, Jason, about if I could, would you like me to show, because this would answer the question.
Right.
Should I show what
Yeah.
a ZK rollup looks like? Would you
Yeah.
like me to share my screen?
I think the audience would love that.
Okay, so I'm going to share it. And this, do you see?
Yep.
You see me, Jason? Okay.
Yep.
So, all right. So here we go. So I'm just going to show you loopring.io, and this will allow me to see if we could help you, which is what helps us. Because I only want people to use us if we're helpful to them. So let me show you. So here I went to just loopring.io, and oh, whoops.
Oh, you just stopped the screen share there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to hide that little thing, not stop share. Okay, maybe I'm not. Okay, now it's hidden. Okay. So loopring.io, when you get there, you'll have to create an account. I've already created an account. Like, all you need is an Ethereum address, to be clear. I'm using MetaMask on Brave. It's saying log in. Log in doesn't mean email, password. It just means click this and sign a message with your already registered address. And let's see. So sign a message, and we will see me logging in. Maybe it's slow because I'm screen sharing. So here we are. All I needed here was an Ethereum address. But to be clear, like, let's say this was a brand new address, you need to do that on-chain transaction that I mentioned. It's basically going to ask you, make one transaction from this wallet, which will kind of map your world onto the off-chain Merkle tree. So, and again, that could cost quite a bit. That's 275,000 gas. So, if Gwei is 100, if gas price is 100 Gwei, that's $10. Let's say, to get on. So, once you're on, it looks like an order book, just like anything else. What I'll show you quick. So here are the order book. Here are the trading pairs, and you'll see we have quite a few. And what I mentioned before, hey, should we list some others? You'll see some have zero volume. Anyways, I won't get into that. LRC USDT. Let's go with that. So you see here it says I have 67 LRC, which is $11. I'm going to show you just how quickly it is to make a trade. So I'm going to just click on the best bid here of 16 cents, 0.1617. It'll fill there. I'll go to sell. I want to sell, let's call it 50 LRC. Okay, that's 8 USDT worth. I'm going to click sell. Okay, and you see my order was submitted and it's filled. Order history, you see I sold 50 at 16. So that's it, it's filled. I didn't pay gas, as you'll notice. I didn't have to sign the transaction even right there. I clicked it and it settled, just like you'd see on Binance or Coinbase Pro. And so that's the experience. If that is useful to you, if you like that experience, then we invite you to come here and help us help you, right? That trade on Uniswap would have costed right now maybe $10. So although it might have cost somebody $10 to get onto Loopring before you do anything, and then another $4, let's say roughly, to deposit the assets, right? To deposit LRC onto the ZK rollup, it costs some money. Once you're on, that's when things happen so quickly and just at the click of a button. Right? You saw the order history, it's there. And for that, I just paid, I paid 0.1%, so 10 basis points. The quick other thing I'll show you is the Loopring Pay functionality. It's kind of hidden because, you know, we're an exchange first and payment application kind of second, although some people are building payment applications themselves. Right now is you go to account, then transfers, and I wish if you had I could have sent you something, Jason, if we had planned this, but so here is the transfer functionality. So I'm going to send LRC to, I could enter an Ethereum address or an ENS name that is registered on the Loopring ZK rollup here. I cannot send this to any Ethereum address right now. In our upcoming version in 2 months, version 3.6, I will be able to send this to any Ethereum address. But right now it has to be to somebody that has already registered on the ZK rollup. So one person, I saw that in the end of the 1inch conversation that they mentioned DeFi Dad. I know that DeFi Dad is on Loopring ZK rollup. He likes it quite a bit. So you see, I typed in DeFi Dad. It shows his Ethereum address, and I will send him one LRC, and I'll say, hey, whatever. Hey, DeFi Dad, and I could click transfer. Now here it's asking me for a signature, not a gas payment, not an on-chain interact, just a sign saying, hey, do you really want to do this? And there it is. I sent it. You see here, I sent one LRC to him for free, 0 LRC fee, no gas. It has a little memo. I could show that. So that is pretty cool, right? Sending that, that would not have been economical on layer 1 right now. Sending one LRC, which is 16 cents, would have cost me 40 cents, right? So I would not have done that. Here, I sent it for free. All, nothing extra, just Ethereum security. So that's really cool. So I show that by just saying, if what I just showed is helpful to you, if you want to make some transfers, make some trades without paying gas fees, that is what we are there for. So if that is helpful to you, that's what we'd love to see. A few other things, just if I may, I'll show that if you're a liquidity provider, this is something that's pretty cool. I find if you're a liquidity provider, like a market maker in the old sense, and you run like a trading bot, we have these liquidity mining campaigns. Everybody's familiar with liquidity mining these days, yield farming. Yes. Ours is a bit different. Ours is kind of old school, honestly. Ours says, okay, we are incentivizing liquidity on these 4 pairs at the moment: REN BTC USDT, BZRX ETH, LRC USDT, USDT DAI. Whoever adds a resting limit order, a maker order to these pairs is automatically getting incentivized. That's what liquidity mining means in our context. There's like a fixed pool. Like, let's take LRC USDT as an example. Here you see that we have a little crown next to the name, account ID number 1521, which is just like the corresponding account ID in our Merkle tree of an Ethereum address. They made $2,000 this month, as you see, just by providing liquidity. So if this is not for people that want to place trades by hand. If you have like a trading bot, or as you see here, if you know how to use a Hummingbot connector, then whoever places a resting limit order is automatically every hour getting rewards. So if that is helpful to you, if you have a trading strategy that you want to deploy, it will literally pay for you to do that. So you saw before when I made an LRC USDT trade, I took liquidity from the order book, right? I filled an order. If right now I'm going to place a new order just for, it'll be a buy. Watch, I'm going to place, I want to buy, let's call it, again, let's go back to 50 LRC. Oh, no, I don't have enough there. 45 LRC at 1619. So you see a new order is going to appear here. I'll click buy. And there it is. Again, no gas, no anything. There's my order. This, technically, right now, I am liquidity mining. Every hour, so in 3 minutes, we take a snapshot of the order books, And if you are there adding liquidity, this goes back to the question, Jason, of, hey, how do you incentivize liquidity? Again, it's not as easy as Uniswap for us, so we have this program. Right now, in 3 minutes, it's going to take a snapshot. Because I have a resting order, which is providing liquidity to everybody else, I will earn for this, maybe a few pennies, right? But this compounds over hours and for the month. So this could turn into thousands of dollars. Anyways, that is liquidity mining in our context. I will stop sharing my screen, but yeah, this is, that's what a ZK rollup looks like. Our goal was to stop sharing. Our goal is to replicate anything Binance could do, we want to do and say, hey, we are doing it, but on DeFi, on Ethereum. That's our goal, is to bridge there's all these new cool things happening in DeFi and in the DEX space. We want to show that we could do what the legacy players do without sacrificing security.
Wow, that is fantastic. I think that a lot of people are on ears right now, Matt. Hey, Matt, this video is going to, people are going to rewatch this video. I got a feeling that people are going to rewatch this video and again. It's really, really extremely helpful that you have given this demo. Thank you so much for that. However, is there any place for documentation for people to basically follow, okay? And if they wanted, okay, to do what you just did.
Right. So our homepage, for the Loopring protocol is loopring.org. That's where you could learn about the protocol. You can learn about ZK rollups on there. We have a lot of research. The exchange that you just saw is loopring.io. If you want to go there. It's funny. One thing that I actually did today was an analysis of, who should use this right now in this gas crisis we're at. I did an analysis. Hey, should you pay the $14 to get inside the door, right? And I basically did the math, and the answer was, for trading, it's if you are going to do 1 or 2 trades in the near future, if you foresee yourself doing trades, given that the pair that you're interested in is on Loopring, then it is worth getting on Loopring if you are going to do 1 or 2 trades. So it's a very low barrier to entry. That is our kind of our hurdle rate in terms of gas cost equivalency. So I hope that, that is on our, I'd say the best place to follow along and see all the new things that we're up to is at Loopring.org on Twitter, at Loopring.org on Twitter. That's where you'll see everything. You'll see these liquidity mining campaigns. So that's it. And you'll see documentation there. I mentioned the trading bot for the liquidity mining campaign. We have a humming bot connector. You could see all that in our GitHub. For all that, I would recommend GitHub. Just github.com/loopring.
Okay. With that, Matt, can you just put that link in the private chat, then I can share it with the entire group. Thank you so much, okay, for sharing the demo with us. Thank you so much for spending the 1 hour explaining Loopring. Loopring is a centralized exchange, but with the security and all the benefits, okay, that we would get, okay, in terms security wise, okay, of a decentralized exchange. Really, really cool. Okay, I hope to that you come to Southeast Asia more often. All right. With that, okay, I just want to give a shout out, okay, to the sponsors, to the event partners that we have for Southeast Asia DeFi Week. Really, really quickly. The first one would be CryptoWatch, our friends from Indonesia. CryptoWatch is the largest crypto community in Indonesia, based in Jakarta. Spearheaded, okay, by our friend Danny Taniwan. If you are from Indonesia and you're looking to start a crypto, okay, this is a good place to find a community. Blockchainmedia.id is the Indonesian blockchain media website. Really, really good articles. Okay, do sign up to their newsletter. Okay, they give really holistic blockchain-wide, okay, news, whereas Coin Investasi is more cryptocurrency focus. So it's also Indonesia-based media, and they have really, really good education material. So do check out, okay, if you're looking for Indonesian related beginner guides, okay, into crypto, DeFi, etc., etc. So be back here, okay, tomorrow. We have done 5 amazing days, okay, starting from Compound, Aave, Instadap, Uniswap, okay, OMC. Ren still says that they're sorry, okay, that they could not make it. Keep, Synthetics, Curve, Balancer, 1 Inch, and now Matt from Loopring. Thank you so much, okay. Next Monday, okay, be back, okay. DeFi week is not over yet. We still have 2 more days to go. The next one starts same time, Monday, 3 to 5 p.m., Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines time. And we're going to be talking about the other things, okay, that you would need, the tools like wallets. And now that you have, okay, all these crypto assets here and there, how do you manage them in a single place? So Zerion is going to blow your mind in terms of the user experience, okay? I'm a huge fan, okay, of what they're building. It's extremely easy to use, but you're going to learn that much more. And then last day, we're going to cap it off with day 7 with Dia, okay? There'll be a panel with a really special guest. I'm really looking forward to it. Should I announce it? Yes, I'll announce it right now. We're going to have David Hoffman, okay, from the Bankless Nation as part of our panel. And then finally in the evening, we're going to cap it off, okay, with Maker. Maker was the first one who spoke on Southeast Asia DeFi Week #1, the first time we did it back in June, and now they are our final speaker, going to talk about decentralized governance. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed today. Thank you again, Matt. Okay, fill in the feedback form, input your Ethereum wallet address, okay, and let us know, okay, about what you think, okay, about today's session, what do you like about it, how can you improve, and submit your question, okay, to win the top 10 best question, and the top 10 best questions will win $10 USDC. I'm going to leave this screen on for a bit, okay. Meanwhile, thank you very much again. Okay, I'm signing off right now. Thank you, Matt. Bye.
Thank you, Jason.
Don't you risk